You know, after the dust has settled on a local government election, there are things that perhaps we overlook. Why some people may do what they do. And again, it's our democracy. And I believe it's a robust democracy when there's so much taking place as far as activity. Joining us is a man who's no stranger to the Observer, Mr. Safraz Ali. Pleasant good evening to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mikey, and your thousands of listeners and viewers outside here.
Yes, indeed. It has been quite a ride for you. Just concluded in the local government election. You after 28. I want to ask you this. After 28 years, you know, you are one of the top OSHA consultants in the country. You former councillor. You're known in the community. Tell us at that point, because again, there are things that we do overlook, and I think we should look at it. And I, for one, am not here to say I told you so. That I think we don't grow if that's the case. And I'm not looking for kinks in your armor. Again, it's a democracy. But tell us, why?
Well, Mikey, everybody has been asking that question, and without prejudice to any particular political party or views or anything, as you rightly stated, is a democracy, and one of the fundamental freedoms that we all enjoy is freedom to associate with whichever group or party we think, we can make a difference in. And as you rightly stated, 28 years, I born and grew up inside UNC, and fought many battles against what we all perceive to be the oppression of the poor people. And so as Jack Warner said, yesterday was yesterday, and today's today. In life we have to make certain decisions, and I made a decision to fight on a different ticket. And as you said, it in the eyes of many, it may appear it didn't work out, but for me, I am very grateful for the experience, and also I am very grateful for the support I would have gotten in the election, as small as it might be.
I understood that. And of course, when we go through whatever we go through as an experience, it does add that age of wisdom, that essence of wisdom to us. If you had the opportunity to go back and speak to the Safraz before making any decision, what would you tell yourself?
Well, first of all, I will be firm in my conviction that once your love for the people and service to the people is there, in life you'll have to, there might come a crossroad in life, and you let your conscience guide you. And I let my conscience guide me, and I stood up for a principle, and I still believe in that principle that the best people should be offered for service to the people, the best person to the job, and I stand by that. I will always fight for that. The residents of any particular locality, you see, local government, as the name implies, is local to the community, and I firmly believe that somebody from the community should be selected to represent, to go up for that area, because they know who best will know the community, other than somebody who born and grew up in the community, a son of the soil, basically. So that is one of the principles I would have stood up for, and I still stand by that conviction. So the advice is, stand your ground. Literally tomorrow from an organization, stand your ground and stand by your conviction.
Yeah, but within all of that, there has to be some sense of discipline. I mean, we want people who are going to stand up and say, listen, I feel strongly about this. I really do. But then again, the fundamental approach is always you comply and then you complain. When does it ever feel as though that you get a sense that you're greater than what you need to be serving?
And that's the thing, That's the thing. So in this life here, I have seen it happen. Nobody is greater than any particular political party. The party is always bigger than the person. And it is all facets of life. So nobody is bigger than his sport. So if a sportsman started getting arrogant and started treat his teammates rather poorly, well then he has let the arrogance and the overconfidence fill his mind that he think he's bigger than the game, when truth and in fact the game is always bigger than the person. So in this aspect also, the party is always bigger than any individual, from captain to cook. And you're correct, there must be a level of discipline. But as I said, I took a decision, and I would have offered the community a different level of representation. Unfortunately, I lost an election, and as I said, I grew in that experience, and I learned from it. Having said that, it takes away nothing from me in continuing to serve the people. I will continue to serve.
And I think it takes a lot of courage for you to actually make these statements and say, look, listen, I made a choice. I stood up. But then again, there'll always be that sense of lack of discipline. We come right back to that sense of, understanding that you are part of something. You're not bigger than what it is that you're a part of. But again, you have your rights to stand up and say, listen, I am not comfortable with this. I believe that, if it can be done in some other manner, some other way, I think it is going to be better. But that in itself is so much based on the personality of the individual. You are a practicing Muslim, am I correct?
Exactly, and you're hitting the nail on the head, wherein I made a decision that I could offer. It wasn't about me, it was what is best for the community and the residents, and I thought I could have offered a better alternative way that has stronger representation to it. It didn't, as I said, it didn't happen like that. The electorate didn't see it that way, and we live and we move on.
Yeah.
Thank God for the life, and we move on, and we serve our Creator, and we serve the community. That's what it is about.
Yeah, but again, you made some statements, and some of the words that you used was grassroots politics, humility, and servant leadership.
Correct.
So you understand there's a contrast there. I mean, here it is, we're talking about a sense of humility, a sense of grassroots, a sense of understanding, and yet still taking that into account. All that you want to do as far as helping the community develop, all that you want to do as far as serving the people and getting out there and getting the job done, you can only do that in all reality if you win, or if you're part of a winning team.
Well, I want to disagree with you there.
Tell me.
I will tell you why. Based on my experience, for the last 3.5 years, I did not have an official political title as councillor or anything like that, and for the next year I wouldn't have that title. But I have shown, and not only I alone, but other community activists have shown that you don't need an official title to serve. So, for example, I am the current vice president of the Aranguez Community Council, and we have a number, through the Aranguez Community Council, we have a number of community initiatives happening for the people in Aranguez. I am also a director with the Agricultural Society at Trinidad and Tobago, and through the ASCT, we have a number of different things happening at different levels. And, so that's just two ways that I continue to serve. I'm a member of the Nurisa Mosque, and we have a number of different community projects happening. For example, the soup kitchen that caters for 300 meals every Saturday.
Yes.
So these things are being done without any official title, Mikey. And we don't need an official title to make it happen. But of course, if you have an official title, like a councillor or MP or something, you can do so much more.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Again, a lot of work in the community. That's something that we really and truly can't question. And I say hats off to you and your entire team. And looking at it now, I mean, what would be the major thing that stood out for you after the dust settled? I mean, you would have interacted with many individuals. Some, of course, just like anything in life, would have disappointed you. I mean, that's life. Some, of course, may have gone beyond the call of duty. But did you ever get that feeling that when it comes to what your vision was and what you wanted to accomplish, perhaps it wasn't shared by others who were in your camp?
Well, no. My camp, the core group of people who I had close to about 15 to 20, including my campaign manager, we all had the common belief that we could have offered a stronger representation to the community. There was no wavering in my immediate team. But I understand what you're saying. Amongst the population, basically what happened is that everybody everybody vote for party, and it was a party vote actually that I created. So if you ask me about that, in terms of retrospect, basically we have two giants in the political arena. We have the PNM and the UNC, and for you to survive as a third party, you have to excite the imagination of the people. Close to 70% of the people did not come out and vote. Only 30% came out. And that 30% was, I think, 300,000, somewhere around there, 300,000. So close to 700,000 people did not come out and vote. And if I were the two major political parties, I would be asking myself, well, why? Why has the PNM dropped so much votes from 2019? Similarly, the UNC would have dropped some votes, not as much as the PNM, but the UNC did drop votes also when I compare the 2019 total figure to the 2023 total figure. So both giants dropped votes, and you have to ask yourself, well, why? Why are the people apparently disenchanted that they didn't come out in the numbers that they did in 2019?
I mean, moving forward now, Safraz, I mean, is this the end? I mean, as far as politics go for you, or are we going to hear more about you? Of course, we just had the chairman of the United National Congress on, Mr. Dave Tanku. He made it quite clear that the UNC is on general election footing. We also heard from the PNM camp, that's what we're reading, that they too are also on general election footing. Where does that put you in this entire equation after making certain decisions and, of course, perhaps having been enlightened now as to what needs to be done?
Well, Mikey, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity here, for allowing me the space to share my opinions and views on the matter. You know, I have real respect for you guys and on the ground report. You all championing the plight of the poor and the oppressed. And that is what it's about. It's about serving our community and helping to uplift the lesser fortunate in our community. Having said that, the 2025 general election, will be the mother for election in my book. Trinidad and Tobago, we are seeing what is happening right now in society. The crime is totally out of control. The gas prices so high. I mean, jobless. So much of people unemployed and so on. We have challenges, and the 2025 election will dictate what direction the country will go in, and it's up to everybody to make that difference, that to help improve the community, how they think will be the best way to go. Basically.
Have you decided if you, and this is personal, have you decided whether or not you're returning to the House of the Rising Sun, or is it still early?
Great question again, and I will just say this. So now I am taking a reset. I am putting my political guns on hold right now. I am devoting my life to the Creator, and He will be guiding my hand in whatever aspect of life has to offer to me. I put my trust and faith in His competent hands, put it like that. Right. So for now, reset and take a deep breath and see what life has to offer.
All right. All the best to you and your team. I know it hasn't been easy. I know that, but again, it's a robust democracy. It's alive. It's kicking. And that's something we should always be glad for and never take for granted, as well as the transition of power takes place without any military intervention. So again, we have it's not the best, but democracy in itself is the best that I think mankind can offer when it comes to the rule of governance. So I want to say hats off to you. And again, and I want to make this absolutely clear. I've been in this for quite some time. And individuals who make decisions that may not be favorable with whatever entity they have, upon their return, these individuals turn out to be some of the most dedicated and committed individuals. Because I think when you learn from a mistake, and I don't want to class it, but I'm just saying, when you learn from an experience, I think you're a lot more rooted and have a better sense of understanding that you could even pass that knowledge on to others. who may be around you and looking on. So again,
Right.
I've been around long enough to see that. So that's why I felt that sometimes there are things we overlook when the dust settles on an election. So again, all the best to you, Safraz, and
Thank you.
see what
Thank you
happens
very
in the near
much.
future. You're welcome.
And Mikey, when you talk to the chairman again, give him my regards. He's a good guy, man.
All right, we'll do.
Your Honorable MP Dave Tanku.
All right.
Guy who I have a lot of respect for. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Take care. God bless
Thank
you.
you, man.